right, welcome back to the Financial Logistician. I'm outside today because it's a nice day. I'm your host, All-Nighter Hider, representing Rebel Capitalist. Oh, not sure what I'm going to talk about today. A couple of things. I wanted to talk about my thoughts on Gary, Indiana, investing there, what I learned when I went there, my experience. I felt like the people were great, the buildings were not. What else? Why do I follow the economy? Why do I learn about it? Why do I keep current on it? What does it do to help me? How do I get an advantage out of it? Let's start with Gary, Indiana. So I got back probably, a week and a half ago. Been recovering since. It was a brutal trip. Working at least 10 hours every day. I was staying in the upstairs unit and working in the downstairs unit, so my commute was extremely easy. Get up. What time did I get up? 7:30. No, that's my normal time. So what time did I get up? 9:30 actually was when Zuber was starting his thing. So I would get up around 9, which is very late. But I am all-nighter hider, so I would actually work until about midnight. This schedule worked really well. I can't really get the camera much closer. This schedule worked really well in that the other 2 units were rented. It's a 4-unit building right now, getting built into a 5-unit. 2 of the units were rented, and I was working and staying in the other 2. The schedules of the tenants were such that they would get up around the same time I would, and they would actually go to sleep around, maybe 4 sometimes. I would hear movies playing at like 3:30 in the morning. Just crazy. I'd hear the lady downstairs had a great laugh, and I'd hear that at all hours in the night or the morning. So that was my schedule. It fit me well, and it fit the tenants well. So that's, all things considered, that was my schedule. What else? But it was brutal, working at least 10 hours a day, like swinging a hammer, working, figuring things out. It's not cut and dry how I repair things. I have to do the demo, assess what's there, assess the damage, and go from there. Figure out how to make it better from there. And it takes some thought. So not only am I consuming my physical muscles, I'm consuming my brain tissue, the fat up here. So it took its toll, and I was not eating well, not at all. I'd go to Walmart and I'd just buy frozen stuff. All I had was the oven, and the stove on top worked. So I went and bought butter and eggs and a little skillet and stuff, and I still wasn't eating enough. I wasn't eating enough, and I wasn't eating well enough. So that combination, the work that I was doing, not really calories, but the calories I was burning, and then the calories I was consuming did not equate. So I lost quite a bit of weight. I haven't actually weighed myself, but I know I probably lost 10-15 pounds over the month, 5 weeks or so, whatever it was. That was brutal. It really was. I was on a shoestring budget. Otherwise, I would have been eating a lot better. I actually was trying to calculate not spending too much so I would have gas money on the way back. Thanks to my investor buddies, they got me a gas card, and that helped out tremendously. It really did. Oh my goodness. The people of Gary. What did I observe when I was there? The people were great. As I went out, I went to a couple different restaurants, and I ordered a bit of food. I'd stop in hole-in-wall places. Gary doesn't really have any big box stores. The only businesses that are there are small mom and pops, the only ones that will be there. So I didn't go to any big food chains or anything like that. I guess there's a couple White Castles, but yeah, I didn't go to any big food chains. I went to small mom and pop places, and when I went there, I didn't know what to order. I hadn't been there before. So I'm a sociable guy. I want to talk to people. Well, the people in Gary tend to look a little rough. They're either older people that look like they just kind of have to be there because they're, like how Dion calls it, Social Security isn't really paying for their lifestyle, so that's That's where they ended up, or that's where they're staying, because it's affordable. Then there's like the gangster looking ones, and I don't care who you are. I'm going to talk to you. I'm not going to put myself in a stupid, dangerous situation. Um, what are the rules of stupid? Don't do stupid things at stupid times with stupid people at stupid places. I wouldn't break the rules of stupid, but I would engage with people that didn't quite look like they wanted to be engaged with, maybe. One of these times, there's a guy I was ordering a Philly cheesesteak from, so I'm just going to call it a Philly cheesesteak shop. I was ordering a sandwich from this place, but I didn't know what I wanted. So I asked this guy. He looked kind of thuggish, if you would. And I asked him, hey, what should I get? What do you recommend here? That's what I said. What do you recommend here? And he just opened up to me. He's like, oh, man, well, this is good, that's good, this is good, this is good. It depends on what you feel like. And the guy was great. Had the thuggish look, but was a real respectable guy. Communicated with me. It was an enjoyable interaction. And given his look, not that I prejudge people, but most people would look at this guy and say, I don't want to talk to him. I want to actually avoid him. Not me. I engaged with him, and he was engaging back, and it was great. I got the Philly cheesesteak that I wanted, Philly cheesesteak sandwich that I wanted. They don't come with mushrooms, and I am not a mushroom fan. That's awesome. It was great. What else? So the people of Gary, I like them. I didn't really get I want to avoid this person kind of vibe. I got I want to engage with these people kind of vibe. There was I think he's a police officer. I don't think he was sheriff. Yeah, he's a police officer, parked just down the street from us where our building is. So I go over and I engage with the guy. I walk up. I walk up in visible sight, so I'm not creeping up on the guy. That's not a smart move. His situational awareness was on point. He saw me. We made eye contact. There was that, visible cue. So I walk up to his passenger side door and I just engage him. Hey, I'm a new investor in the area. I wanted to know, what are your thoughts? You're obviously in the area. You're a local. What are your thoughts on this place? Where our building is, we're right next to the train tracks, which is kind of funny, given that saying, across the tracks. Well, across the tracks looked like a nicer area. Gated community. And then on our side of the tracks, there's more of the rundown buildings, a lot more debris, a lot more trash, litter. The visual cues say that our side of the tracks look worse. Therefore, maybe the people are worse. And this officer actually gave me the opposite view. He said, we get more calls on the nicer looking side of the tracks, and we get fewer calls over here. Now, Millennial Mike, he is a SWAT sergeant now. He said that maybe because there's more people on the other side, the nicer looking side of the tracks. And I thought, well, maybe the people on our side of the tracks don't want to call the cops. Cops aren't always a good thing. So, they are, but when they're introduced into a situation, the situation can be escalated very fast. So, something to consider. He said just that. We get more calls on the other side of the tracks. It looks nicer, and we get fewer calls over here. So I don't know what to make of that. If it's a good call or a bad call, or a good thing, a bad thing. That was a good interaction, though. The people have been great. The buildings are not. And it tells me that there's a lot of opportunity there. So I want to continue investing in Gary, Indiana. That's where I want to create a larger portfolio, larger cash flowing portfolio that will then support me going into other markets where I can make riskier decisions, if you would, and then I can fall back on my Gary portfolio if something bad happens. What else? The weather was great, quite honestly. I haven't really experienced a whole lot of East Coast weather, but I did go back to Baltimore in, I think it was February, and that was chilly. That was pretty bitter cold. Gary in March, yeah. It was just cold. It wasn't a bitter cold. It wasn't something like where I don't want any exposed skin. it was fine. I didn't have to wear turtlenecks or anything. I didn't have to wear my moon suit, which is a big coverall, big highly insulated coveralls that I wear. Didn't have to wear anything like that. It wasn't really even like Alaska. Alaska doesn't get super bitter cold, but it can be, and like in May. Yeah, even in May, get my months all confused. Even in May, Alaska can be bitter cold, and it can be brutal. But Gary, Indiana wasn't like that. There's a lot of sunny days, lots of 60s and even 70-degree weather. It was great. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved working in it. It was actually colder in the house after the heater went out than it was outside. It was just a stagnant cold, if you would, whereas outside was just a flowing cold. And it was nicer outside. The cold outside was preferable. Definitely going to continue investing and working in Gary. I'm going to go back September. I don't feel like I did enough on the building. I don't feel like what I accomplished was worth the sweat equity that I was paid. I really don't. It was brutal, yes, but I don't feel like I produced enough. Given my results and what I was paid versus what we could have paid another contractor and gotten the results from faster, I don't think I performed well enough. It is just me. I mean, working solo does take a lot longer than working with two people. Two people is faster than twice as fast. It's exponentially faster, and then you incorporate more people, and it just gets better and better from there. The ants have it right. I think that's about all on Gary. I don't know. I don't edit these things. I don't ever plan for these things. Economics. Why do I follow economics? What's the advantage there? Man, I had all this planned out in my head. Let's see if I can get it out of face. I hear my kitty. Learning economics. It has become an addiction. It's very intellectually stimulating. But why? I feel like when I learn these theories, I'm able to gauge what could happen in the future better than anybody else that doesn't know these theories. Things like the Cantillon effect. Let's see if I can explain this one. Those that are closest to the money printer get the money first, get to buy anything they want, really, generally assets, before the markets realize that money has been pumped into the system and price discovery takes place and asset prices go up as more people buy them. So essentially, before things go up, they get to buy them. Before things go up in price, they get to buy them, forcing them to go up in price. If they got that currency and just sat on it and didn't spend it on these goods and services and assets, then things wouldn't inflate. Prices wouldn't show the results of inflation. Because price increases are just a result of inflation. They are not inflation. Two different things. It's just a symptom. Man, I had it all planned out in my head. I was taking a shower just like 20 minutes ago, and I was running through this stuff, and it was just flowing in my thoughts. When I study the economy, I get a better insight as to what may happen in the future. What was I thinking? What is the economy? It's a physical representation of everyone's needs and desires put into action. So I may have a need for water, but if I don't go and buy it, that's not an economic input. Now, all these economic inputs translate to the economy. That is why monetary policy, and especially fiscal policy, do not dominate the economy. They do not steer the economy as much as all of our collective actions. When we go out and buy things, that's a signal to the economy. All those signals from all of us, way more, in my opinion, than fiscal policy and or monetary policy. They can raise the price of gas to whatever they want. If we don't buy it, then it's not going to affect anything. I mean, well, gas, oil, it would, because that is the economy. But it's a huge, huge input of the economy. But I'm getting into the weeds of things. Why do I follow the economy? Let's get it back on track here. I want to know, I want to have a, not know, but I want to have a better idea of the probabilities of what's going to happen in the future. I get those probabilities. I wonder if you can hear that on my girl is just meowing like crazy. I get these probabilities from studying what is happening. I get a better understanding of what is happening from studying what has happened. My son is laughing at me as he sees me making a video. And there he goes. He is much taller than me, going into our tiny house. Hi, Adam. Bye, Adam. Okay. Sorry, covering camera. Okay. I get a better understanding of the probabilities of what may happen from studying what has happened. I get a better understanding of the probabilities from understanding people's incentives. The monetary policy and the fiscal policies, they do create a kind of incentive structure, but they do not make things happen. When I know these probabilities, or when I get a better understanding of these probabilities, I can make bets into the future. Where do I want to put my priorities? Do I want to sink my bets into buying water because I think the price will go up because the incentive structure is going to force the price up? Do I want to buy oil because I think the price of oil is going to go up? Where do I want to put my bets, my dollars? Well, that is the big question. That is why I study the economy. That's why I keep current on what's happening. It's why I study monetary policy, fiscal policy, economic history, game theory. That's why I study Bitcoin. I do recommend people go and study Bitcoin. Just go and learn about it. Go and learn, what is this protocol? What is the computer code? Just learn about it. You don't have to buy it. I think if you do buy it, you'll be incentivized to learn about it. So maybe go and buy 10, 15 bucks or something that will incentivize you to learn about it. But you don't have to. You don't have to at all. Oh man, 18 minutes. We're at the 18-minute mark. What do you guys want to hear about? Give me some ideas. I get them all the time in my head. I make up my own ideas, and if I don't make a video on it right then when it's fresh in my mind, this is what happens. I get these sporadic thoughts that are very hard to throw into a spider web, make them stick, and then make them all coordinate. Yeah, let me know what you guys want to talk about. What I didn't make that painting video. I planned on making a painting video, and I didn't do it because I was in someone else's house, and I didn't quite get the green light to film in there, so I didn't do it. But I will be making a painting video soon. I'll figure out something to paint. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here because it's getting long. 19 minutes now. Study the economy. You will get a better understanding of what is happening from what has happened, and give you a better idea of the probabilities of what will happen. I can almost promise it. Come follow my buddy Simon, the Uneducated Economist. That is his channel name, Uneducated Economist. Rebel Capitalist with George Gammon. You can type in Rebel Capitalist on YouTube. That'll take you to that channel. Or George Gammon. He has his own channel as well under that name. Gammon is his last name. Who else? Mark Moss is a good one to follow. That's another video idea. I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean up my my subscription count on YouTube. That is the platform I stay on. I'm going to clean up that subscription count to kind of fix my algorithm. I think YouTube sees all these channels and they're like, hey, this guy's interest is all over the place. Let's maybe not focus our notifications in just this area. So I'm going to go through and clean up some of my subscriptions, and then go through and let you know who I subscribe to, why I subscribe, what their channel is, what it does. There's lots of gun videos. Love my guns, love my firearms. Firearms, economics. Yeah, what else do I watch? I think that's about it, to be honest with you. Got the boring side and I got the fun side. It's my balance. Yeah, I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching. I'll come up with another one soon because it's been too long. It's probably been a week and a half, 2 weeks since I posted a video. Thanks for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Financial Agitician, All-Nighter Hider, out.